Namaskaram to all of you. It's a great privilege to be here, meeting all of you. And I am extremely happy that there are participants from Kazakhstan, where I was there just last week. I was in Astana and Almaty. So it's nice to meet some of the participants from those countries also. Friends, this is a unique event in the sense that last year, they want to call themselves as mothers. I would like to call them as sisters. So 4 sisters from India traveled across 22 countries. And that travel resulted in getting to know women from various parts of the world, and it has led to this convergence here from various countries. Women have come together to celebrate motherhood. And the title that has been given, it's Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It's a very lofty ideal. It's a motto, it's an ideal that India has been holding high, that India considers the whole world as a family. It's not just in one such motto. India, if you go to the scriptures of India, if you go to the writings of the philosophers of India, you will find many such quotes. How India sees the whole world. I just came across the motto of Vishwabharati, the university founded by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. And the motto of Vishwabharati is Yatra Vishwam Bhavatyega Needam, means where the world makes a home in a single nest. That's the slogan of Vishwabharati, founded by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore. India says, Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu. Let the whole world be happy. India says, Sarvepi Sukhina Sandhu. Let everybody be happy. So the concept, the philosophy of India, India doesn't think in parts. India thinks in a whole. India doesn't make a compartmentalized approach. India makes an integrated approach. So this is the philosophy of India. So it's natural that India, when it thinks about family and when it thinks about the whole world and the universe, India thinks in terms of family. India thinks the whole universe in terms of family. So when we take that thought, with that thought when we approach, of course, motherhood, I consider that man and women have equal qualities. There is no competition between man and women. Competition was there in the Western world, but in the Oriental countries, and I feel that many countries from where representatives have come here, whether it is Central Asia or to this side. Of course, Croatia, there are some representatives from Croatia also. Croatia, I think they consider themselves to be more Western because they were part of Yugoslavia. The Oriental culture, in Oriental culture, it was man and woman was a complementary relationship. There was no fight between man and woman. That's why when India became independent, there was no doubt whether adult franchise should be limited to man only. In many countries where democracies claim to be much longer than that India had, adult franchise was limited to man only. But India never had that doubts. So we had a harmonious coexistence. Of course, women have a special role to play, in the sense that women have the special role because of their biological specialities, that they are considered as the creators. They nurture a whole generation from the infant to till he becomes mature, even if he is 60 or 65 or even beyond that. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he goes to meet his mother who is 90 plus. And mother doesn't feel that my son is a Prime Minister. For mother, he is not Prime Minister, he is son. That is the peculiarity of the mother. Otherwise, mother should treat the Prime Minister as a Prime Minister. It doesn't happen. For mother, he is a small child. He inquires. To the Prime Minister also, he will be inquiring. Are you taking bath regularly? Are you using the towel properly? Because mother feels that he is the same old 4-year-old child, even if he becomes 65 or 70. For the Prime Minister, these things nobody need to inquire. But mother will definitely inquire. And mother will be taking care of, have you taken that medicine? Have you done this? All these things mother will be inquiring. So this speciality of nurturing a generation, that nurturing a generation, this comes to the woman due to her biological peculiarities, because she gives birth to the child. And this gives her the approach of care, the approach of share. So caring and sharing, this approach comes to mother. There is a general impression that creative men have the qualities of mothers. Many of the creative men, they may be physiologically, they may be men, masculine gender, but they have such qualities which normally biological women have. So I would say that motherhood, of course, has a role to play, because motherhood means nurturing a generation, creating in them or developing in them those qualities which are required for the sustenance of the society, which are required for the well-being of the society. And I have gone through the note that was circulated, which says that ultimately the motherliness, I would say, that motherliness is the prerequisite for prosperity. This is a noble thought. This is a thought that is required for the present world, when the world is facing lot of challenges. So in this society, in this world, where we face innumerable challenges. In those challenges, the approach of caring, the approach of sharing, approach of nurturing, that is required for every individual, every citizen of this whole world to imbibe. So I would say motherhood is not a gender. Motherhood is a quality. So motherhood, by celebrating motherhood, we should not create an impression that men are free from all these things. Men have equal responsibility, but men have some disabilities, I would say, because men are not biologically empowered to create, to give birth. So women have that, are empowered to give birth to a generation, give birth, nurture a generation. But at the same time, the responsibility of motherliness, which is required for the sustenance of the whole world, universe, that's a quality, that is a speciality that is required to be imbibed by each and every individual. So I would say that when FHDA should promote, I would say that these qualities should be promoted. And these qualities are to be promoted irrespective of gender. That's my point. Because motherliness cannot be limited to women only, and men should not be freed from the responsibility of having the having the responsibility of nurturing a generation. Of course, mothers, the women have some special capabilities because of their peculiar biological peculiarities. So this is the point which I would like to make before you, and I am sure that this effort, ultimately which is aimed at global prosperity, and global prosperity doesn't come in economic terms only. Now we have the neighborhood nation, Bhutan. They say global, that is happiness index. They consider the not on the economic terms, because that is the ultimate aim of each and every individual. Each of us we live. Ultimately, the aim is be happy, to gain happiness, in search of happiness. What makes you happy? When you go into that, some people get happiness by singing. Some people become happy by drawing. Some people get happy by traveling. Some people become happy by making money. So, but money cannot make everyone happy. Even after making money, there are some people who feels that he is not happy with that. So it goes beyond that. So in search of happiness, that prosperity, the search for prosperity, the aim of prosperity, an approach of which we say from India, that it's an integrated approach of not only the body become happy, body becoming contented, but the body, mind, intellectual and everything. So all the aspects of the human body and the mind, unless it becomes happy, you cannot find a true happiness. So let motherliness pave the way for global happiness, of which one aspect is prosperity, global prosperity. So let there be global happiness, Let there be peace in the society, in the world. And for that, let this effort of promoting motherliness gain further, grow further, and let us hope that this effort ultimately results in a better understanding of the world and a better coexistence of the world. With these words, I conclude. Namaskaram to all of you.